Thank you so much, Munir, for you know turning in. I don't really have the words to describe what you do and as a person and who you are, considering your humanitarian backgrounds. But I would want you to introduce yourself to our people who are watching us right now. So, could you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Thank you, Gil. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you, and thank you for your invitation and for organizing this call. Uh, my name is Munir Bassi, a normal Sudanese guy, and yeah, I've been working on the humanitarian aid field for the past 8 years. And I studied business back home, and I did my master's in nonprofit leadership and management. Uh, yeah, I've been displaced myself and my family in North Darfur earlier 2003. And yeah, from Fatta Borno in North Darfur to Kutum, then to Al city, where I grew up there together with my siblings, and we stayed there with my family till I left Sudan in 2019. And yeah, I have been called refugee outside of Sudan since that time till the moment. So yeah, and I am a founder of a new grassroots Sudanese-led organization called Let's Have Hope, which is basically based in my hometown. I started in El Fashir, and then after the recent escalation of violence in North Darfur, El Fashir city, we evacuated the team to my original hometown, Kutum City. And yeah, we have our operations right now there. And right now I'm calling from Greece.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is really, really quite. That I don't know how to say it, but it is quite a reputation, Manir, that you have there, and I believe that people like you can, save Sudan from all these catastrophic events that are unfolding right now. And as you have mentioned before, that you left Sudan when you were very young, and you after you left Sudan, you pursue your educational journey. You have masters in business and humanitarian studies. Could you, a little bit reflect from the distance what aspect of the crisis are invisible or misunderstood by people who have never been to Sudan or, who have never met anyone from Sudan?
Yeah, and yeah, this is really good point and question to mention it and highlight it because people or some people is just recently seen what happened in Sudan, like since this conflict started in April 2023. Uh, I went to visit Sudan just 2 weeks before that. I was in Sudan in Darfur in March 2023, and I left before this conflict started by like a few days. So it was crazy also. But yeah, back to your question. The conflict in Sudan, especially in Darfur, isn't something new. So you can say since 1997, when I born, I found this conflict in my hometown in Darfur, and it escalated, and it became more violent. End of 2022 and starting of 2023, which me and my family and thousands of other families been displaced. And still people seeing it as a community conflict, but if you really read about the history of the conflict, about what's happening in Sudan, it's not a community conflict at all. Uh, you can say all of them are very systematic, organized wars that supported by different parties, external hands, and that is the reasons of this conflict to restart always and to continue till the moment, because there is a lot of external parties that fueling this war, fueling this conflict without bringing an end to it. And Unfortunately, the victims are the Sudanese people, the children, the women, elderly people, and even young people like me and you, who are even have nothing to do with the both sides of conflict, but they might be accused that they are follow one of the parties or supporting one of them, and they lose their lives, as we recently saw on the horrible pictures and videos that have been published from El Fashir. Uh, this war, it destroyed Sudan. It destroyed facilities. It destroyed hospitals, schools, universities, even religious places being destroyed because of those conflicts. Thousands of thousands flee displacement, continue on cycle of displacement. So, and one of the big examples in Darfur, people are being displaced since 2003,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Darfur have six very big internal displacement camps that stabilized since the conflict started in 2003. Those camps, you can see that's the minimum, hosting around 350,000
But
people.
Neil, let me interrupt you. I'm sorry for interrupting
Yeah.
you. You said for three major internally displaced camps for people in Darfur, but many people confuse that and they say the conflict in Sudan just happened, in 2023. So, what displaced those people from Darfur in 2003 to force them into internally displaced camps in Darfur? What causes that?
Yeah, it's the conflict. People seeing this many years, and because those people, the cause root or the root cause is that they left their houses because their house has been destroyed. Their villages been burned. They have no safety. They have no one to secure their life there. So the only solution they have it, or my family had it also that time that we leave, you know.
Yeah,
And then since that time, those internal displacement can been stabilized. Even Aboja, Nifasha, Salam, Zamzam camp, Kassab, Fatabarno, all those camps in North Darfur, in South Darfur, been stabilized since that time. Uh, this March and April, when Zamzam camp been attacked in El Fasher, which Zamzam camp actually is about 30 minutes away driving by car from El Fasher. Actually, it's inside El Fasher borders.
but what
So
what
it's called it's called Zamzam camp.
what attack the civilian camp?
This civilian camp is being attacked by RSF, unfortunately, and
That's
it was hosting 700,000 civilians.
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. And after this attack, those people been flee into Fashir city. Yeah, again, that is why I mentioned earlier continuous cycle of displacement,
Yeah,
because people are just displacing from an area to an area, a safer area, somehow attacked, they leave. So those people who, for example, who left Zamzam camp, they were even sleeping in front of our office in El Fashir city and in
yeah,
front of my brother's house. We opened even our houses for them to enter. People were sleeping in abandoned houses, in mosque, in public schools, in the streets, under the trees. People digged holes under the ground. When there is shelling, they protect themselves inside.
wow,
Like during the night, people sleep underground. So you can imagine. According to the resources and the information that we had, El Fashir were receiving between 2,000 to 2,500 shell per day,
wow,
starting early morning at 4 a.m., finishing at 10 a.m. So this is just to give you the amount of violence that happening in Darfur or in Sudan. And El Fashir is just one example. Right now we have Baba Nusa. Right now it's also under siege. We have all South Kordofan, North Kordofan, all those right now like front fire lines. Right now, also thousands of people fleeing from Kordofan to Ubaid
Wow.
because of the escalation violence recently in Dalanj, in Babanusa, in Bara, all this resulting to continue displacement for people.
But but but
So,
but Munir, who is funding those people who have this? How these people manage to cause all these wars and pay for it? How do they do it?
and from my perspective and what we saw in media, and recently you can see all the Sudanese activists talking about. We're seeing that everyone is accusing United Arab Emirates of for supporting the RSF army and fueling them with weapons, and the international community till now have no clear statements about who's supporting who and who's fueling who. And this is also weird, like the international community left Sudan in mute.
Yes.
Like they left Sudan in silent. They left thousands of civilians being killed and murdered, losing their life, children, young people, women raped, and sexual violence, gender-based violence happening. And till
Yeah,
now, the international community just like publishing useless statements.
yeah, because there is a political polarization between the parties that are fighting. Even the world or the international community have taken sides. They have divided themselves lines.
Exactly, and the international community always, when we talk about Africa, when we talk about Middle East, they
Yeah,
normalize what's happening.
yeah,
Like they really normalize because also the pictures that they give it to their own people, to people who don't know about Africa and Middle East, for because also I will finish this, but because also Sudan being cut out of media, block out since 2023, no internet connection. So there is zero media coverage about what happening in Sudan. No one knows, you know. So and the international community all this time is silence. If this happened in Ukraine, no one will be in this silent.
absolutely,
Everyone knows what's happening between Ukraine and Russia.
absolutely.
Everyone is attacking Russia to stop what they are doing in Ukrainians. But when we came to Sudan, when we go to Gaza, the international community is just like publishing, you can say, useless statements. That is why again I say that like they normalizing what's happening in Africa and in Middle East always, because once they talk about Africa or Middle East, they just see desert. They just see starvation. They just see famine. They just see primitive people. That is the picture that they giving it to people about Africa and Middle East, which is not true.
Here, why is that? Why do they look at them in that picture and they don't take them seriously when people are dying in millions and hundreds of thousands, including children being killed deliberately? Why are they
Yeah,
silent? Don't they
they are
care?
silent because also you can say like all those political people they have interest.
Yeah,
They even have resources, strategic points, whatever. From gold to diamond to uranium to animal resources to strategic points in Africa and Middle East. All those are things they consider it. Also, like all those Western countries, when they occupied our countries long ago, they stole also our culture. They stole a lot of our resources, and they continue doing till the moment.
ab-
So you can say Sudan gold in Sudan also is one of the big resources that people fight on it right now. And again, the victims are civilians, are innocent people, and
well,
it's a war that the winner is loser on it.
yeah, yeah, and the problem with the wars that are being fought today is not the people who fight who dies; it's the people who have nothing to do whatsoever with that conflict. All right. So thank you very much. This is like a beautiful insight, and I believe anyone who would listen to this would understand exactly the root cause, the problems in Sudan, especially in Darfur, and the international influence in it, and why the world is quiet, about all these things. Although people may have like a little hint on what is happening, but conversation like this are important. Which bring us to questions of why is the crisis in Sudan escalating? And from your perspective now, what is the main factor driving the humanitarian collapse in Sudan? What is it that drives all this humanitarian crisis in Sudan?
So, like first, since the war started, I would also need to say sorry to all those humanitarian aid workers' families that they lost their lives in Sudan. Only since this conflict starts in April 2023 till August this year, more than 120 humanitarian aid worker being killed. You know,
100
and more than 120 humanitarian aid worker being killed, targeted
working.
killing. So
Wow.
and
Wow.
those
But
only the one that been recorded. Unfortunately, there is thousands and hundreds that work in the community-based organizations, in the Sudanese local organizations, in the community kitchen groups that no one talk about them. In Let's Have Hope, we lost Ghassan Muhammad, a young guy who was distributing aid in a displaced center in El Fashir city. While he was distributing the aid with our team, a bomb fall over his head. Imagine.
that is unfortunate.
So yeah, so also doctors, journalists, all those people are losing their lives in Sudan, and hundreds and hundreds.
So basically, the reason why there is, a massive humanitarian crisis in Sudan is simply because the warring parties target aid, and kill humanitarian workers. And there are research and findings that comes out which says that both of the warring parties block aids that should go or that are meant for the civilians in areas that are controlled by the rival. So I don't know, when you think about that, isn't that cruelty, when you say, oh, because this my opponent is has a control over such a state. So now all the children, all the women, all the civilian in that state are, marked with an axe, and they don't deserve food, and they deserve to die, and they deserve to be bombed, they deserve to be killed, they deserve to be subjected to all horror, inhumane things possible that you could think about. Don't you think that is cruelty? Because
And
right now, the fact that there is a humanitarian crisis is because the warring parties clearly don't want the humanitarian aids to reach the people. Correct me if
yeah,
I'm wrong.
and yes, it's really like me myself. There is one thing that I can say it. I lost my uncle in 2023 when this war started. He was working with WFP. He lost his life with some of his colleagues in Kapkabia in North Darfur. They've been targeted by RSF while they were seeking safety near the army base in Kapkabia. And as you said, the two parties, each one of them have a control of a specific area. So, as humanitarian aid worker, our experience in this that we need to coordinate with both sides to let aid get in. You know,
Yes,
so when you coordinate, you have a safe passage. Like, okay, this is my area, is under my control. I give you safe access. Go. But after you go out of my area, what happened to you is not my responsibility because that is not my area. It's not controlled by me. And then both sides they publishing reports like no, Sudanese army did this, killed those humanitarian aid targeted. Sudanese air army in the other side, no, RSF did this. So this is also what is really confused, like you both agree that we give safe passage to humanitarian aid, but in the same time you target it, you know. So
Yes.
unfortunately,
So it's like no,
yeah, it's like a game. It's like life's game. So yeah, and we still asking both sides to respect.
it's really unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. So we continue pushing and asking the both sides to respect humanitarian aid worker, to respect doctors, to respect aid, to give safe passage for aid and humanitarian aid workers, to not targeted hospitals, and to not oppressed by the international laws and all those categories I mentioned. They should never be a target. Civilians, they should never be a target.
Uh,
Yeah, if you want to fight, go fight outside on the jungles. You know, solve your
yeah.
problem
No,
there. But when you take a war into cities, this is the worst. From humanitarian aid
yes.
perspective, this is the worst because you target civilians, you target doctors, facilities, humanitarian aid workers, children, women, shelters, and which is there is no international law accept this. So we continue asking and begging them to stop bringing war inside cities. Yeah,
But they don't care, do they? Because in on the 26th of October, when Al Fashir fall, there was a lot of atrocities that woke the world up about what is happening in Sudan. And the only reason for that was because it was, filmed live and was shared on social media. That was when the world said, oh, something is happening in Sudan. And again, on the 11th of January, this is an event that happened before Al Fashir event, 2025. It happens in an area called, I don't know if it is city or a town. It's called Wet Madani, where the
yeah.
Sudanese as well committed like a lot of atrocities, killing people, slaughtering them, just the same way the RSF did in Al Fashir. So, what do you think would be the position of Sudanese people once this war is over? And do you think if this war is over with these two parties coming to terms, do you think the humanitarian crisis and the Sudanese people would be safer again? And what I mean by safer again is that it's not safe completely because there has never been safety for the Sudanese people since 1950s, let's say, since the Sudan got so independent, since the 1997 when the Darfurian conflicts happened, since the 2003 Darfurian genocide that kills over 400,000 people in a short period of time, do you think the people of Sudan still have hope within the hands of these two people struggling with power?
If I spoke as a Sudanese civilian, not as Sudanese humanitarian aid worker, I will say we have hope that we will rebuild our country with dignity and resilience, and we will go back to our homelands again. And but this hope can come into true or into place only if this conflict come to end and we stop something called armed groups. We have only one national army that protected Sudan and Sudan resources and Sudanese people themselves. Then we can say we have hope that we will have one Sudan again. But if we continue have those rival groups, each 10 individuals have weapons and some cars, and they are a group, we will never come into end of conflicts and wars, because whatever there is people against what's happening, there is external hands would love to fuel it, you know. But
Absolutely.
when you have one strong army that have no external hands can come touch it, then civilians and people will rebuild it. Sudan
Yes.
will be our beloved Sudan again. We go back to Khartoum again. You know, as Khartoum right now already being start rebuild it again. You
Yeah,
know,
but an army that does not discriminate people, an army that represent the whole Sudanese, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly, without any discrimination, without any community or race thing. So also one of the things that you really like now you brought it from this discussion that most of Sudanese people who are outside of Sudan, they see that Sudanese people hate each other. But me, from my perspective, I don't think so. They
me
see
too.
that Sudanese people hate South Sudan people.
Too,
But
me
also
too.
from my perspective, I'm like, not all Sudanese people hate everyone or hate themselves. Because also the racism or you are black or you are white, all those causes that external hands, fuel it
Police
also to make this conflicts as right now happens, and keep people distracted of the real and actual problems.
definitely.
So in Sudan, our actual problem is not racism. Our
Yes,
actual problem is that person who's coming from outside and let us fight in each other. You
yes.
know, in Sudan, in South Sudan, in Eritrea, in Ethiopia, in
And
Somalia, in Congo, in Nigeria, the same.
I really like that point that you just made now. And let me give you an example on that. When Sudan got separated in 2011, most of the countries that funded South Sudan were countries like Norway, like Israel, like the US. And the reason was because in South Sudan there is gold reserves and there is oil reserves as well. That some of this country want some of them of those natural resources. And again, when you look at it, the countries that supported the northern part of Sudan were countries like Emirate, like Saudi Arabia, and the Middle East. So that means our problems as the people of Sudan, if you look at it in general, it is more of a political problem that is created by few elites that wants what please them or their interest. Because if that is not the case, South Sudan wouldn't have gone to war by itself, and then Sudan again wouldn't have gone to war by itself because
Exactly,
of when people say, "Oh, it is religion or it is race or anything like that," but they use that to divide people and make sure that the people who have the mastermind behind this plan go away with their crimes and their interests. And which brought us to the final question here, which I already love to talk about most of the times. And this is Sudan is the worst, humanitarian crisis in the world right now. And about 14 million people have been displaced already in Sudan. And when you look at these 14 million people being displaced, almost 5 million people alone are from the region of Darfur, which only constitute about maybe 25% of the whole population of Sudan, because Sudan has 40 million, isn't it? And Darfur has 11 million persons. So 5 millions of the Darfurian populations have been displaced either internally or externally. And all the atrocities that have been happening in Sudan since with the exclusion of southern Sudan in the northern Sudan since 1970s, no, since 1997 up to now, most of these atrocities happen in Darfur. So, is there anything that is, ethnically and racially motivated in Darfur that target? Because especially the Masalit, the Zagawa and the Four are the one disproportionately being affected by this conflict so far, and that is according to findings by some humanitarian organization, according to the report of the genocide that happened in 2003. So, is there any, any ethnic motivation, and what is the reason, and who is responsible for that?
this is that is why I would love also to talk about this, because even as Sudanese, like I recently, before I was like very away from politics, like because it's give me headache to speak with politics, specifically with people who are really not well educated about what happened in Darfur, or what they don't know what's really the root causes of the war. So, for example, in my village, Fataborno, like before 2003, with all those communities right now that people saying they were racism, they killed people. We were living in together. We were eating together. We were working together,
Yeah.
in trading together. All those right now communities that people say that they are Arab communities, we were living together. We were sharing everything together in Darfur. Then when this really come up with the war in 2003, and that they start this conflict, and who armed them. So those people, those group before, like the RSF, so before they were called Haras al-Hudud, who were like savers of the borders, that actually been created by Omar al-Bashir. So it was like to save the borders of West Sudan, like Chad, Libya, Central Africa, to save the borders, that there is no militias or there is no any external party enter Sudan through that way. And then somehow those groups been motivated by external hands to start a war against people in Darfur,
Yes.
which they start with resources war. They started attacking farms, stealing sheep and animal resources from people, till they arrive to the level that they kidnapping women, they kidnapping kids, then slowly kidnapping, murdering people, then slowly attacking full villages, then slowly burning markets, then slowly burning full villages, slowly like this.
Yes.
And then, also at that time I was 6 years old. So if, like, naturally, if I saw you as Khil, as a white man, I saw all you grabbing weapon and coming burning our villages,
Yeah.
automatically it's you become my trauma triggers.
Yes.
I have been traumatized to someone who's have white skin. So whenever I see someone who's with white skin, you are my enemy. You were saying to me I am a slave. You burn my house, you burn my family, you burn my people. So people grow up in this hate, unfortunately. And therefore, people grow up seeing people murdering people. Unfortunately, the videos you saw recently on the 26th of October, published from Al Fashir, I saw it live when I was 6 years old. I witnessed it myself, you know? So this what create all those community conflicts between Sudanese people, that when you saw this person from this community, I hate you because your community did this to my community. And then again, a lot of parties give motivation of hate. Then this what create all what right now people. Recently I saw a video, actually today I was mad about it. One of the Sudanese activists uploaded that, saying that we are racist against ourselves, that is why we have this community conflict. I need to send a strong message to those people. Like, if you are a Sudanese, you would really know that this is not a community conflict, first. Second, if you are really Sudanese, you know that Sudanese love Sudanese, and that all this hate, all this skin, all this we are African country or Arab country, we are, all those are external things that people pushing it on us to forget about big problem, to
Absolutely.
forget about our real problem, to forget about who's our real enemy.
And most importantly, to forget about Sudan, who we are, because we are Sudanese.
Yes, we are Sudanese. We are not Arab, we are not African, we are not white, we are not black. Sudan is the most diverse country in the world.
What?
Whatever type of skin color, we have it. You know,
Yes,
and all this time we live together. I am one of the people who travel a lot around Sudan, west, east, south, north. I've been around. No one let me feel that I am not welcome or I am from Darfur. Like, hey, you are from Darfur. No, everyone really welcoming me, so warm. You know, some people saying that Darfur, the government didn't take care enough of it. Also, like, I honestly, I don't see this a problem. I went to Shamalia. Like in Darfur, we have more than 500 school, public school, government school. In Shamalia, we don't have this number of schools. You know, in Darfur, a lot of villages they have like a small clinic and a well that have water. I went to Shamalia and some areas that they don't have this.
yes,
You know, so people without have enough knowledge and education and knowing ground information from Sudan or what's happening in Sudan or what is Sudan, and they just like reading some stuff in Uncle Google or ChatGPT, and they came recording a videos have millions of views.
yeah.
You know, so
And
yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah. So
and
this is never the case, and it should never be a case. We are Sudanese. We are one Sudan. And you know what? I still see South Sudanese people as one Sudan, like my brothers, my sisters. For South Sudan person, I don't call them you are from South Sudan. I told them, oh, Sudani, my brother, you know, because by heart we are one.
absolutely, we are the
Yeah.
same.
So
But Munir,
we divided because also politics.
looking at you and me, we don't have any difference. And again, to add on what you just mentioned, I would love to, make it clear that no matter how we think we are different, we are not. We are the same, and we will always be the same.
Exactly.
That is
Always.
who we are, Sudanese. Which, to be honest with you, Manir, you completely blown me away about your story as a 6 years old and how you live in Darfur in peace and harmony with your neighbors, all of you living happily together until the unfolding a horrible situation happens, which makes you make me humble because you gave me a perspective that I didn't have before because I thought the conflict in Darfur is like a hatred that has been there for a long time, has been like motivated by tribals things. And I didn't know that the people in Darfur once lived together like brothers like this. I didn't know that.
We
And
did
of course,
that.
this is why this conversation are very important, so that people understand the reality that the problem is not the people, the problem are not the,
Exactly.
but the problem is something much much more bigger. And then when we find the problem and we understand it, that is when we will find solution now. And that solution, trust me, is going to be worthwhile. And
Exactly.
last thing to ask you before we call it a day, what is it that hope mean to you, and what do you hope for Sudan?
This is you catch me in a small area. Hope. My
Yeah.
NGO is let's have hope.
Yes.
Uh, I you can say like I'm always being a very socialized person. I'm very social. I always have a big smile on me and love to motivate people. Love to give people hope. Love to give myself hope. I always catch hope inside me. So even when people losing their faith, their hope, I can give them some of mine. Uh, I want to say to all Sudanese people that we can lose our lives, we can lose our houses, we can lose our businesses, we can lose our families, we can lose our lands, but we will never lose hope to go back there. We will never lose hope to rebuild our country.
I love that.
We will never even lose hope to go to sit in a cafe in Shar Nil. This
Yeah.
is this is uh, this is
That,
something we will never lose it. So and for me, I get hope from Sudanese people. I get hope from my team who are right now on the ground that risking their lives to deliver aid to people. This give me hope. This give me strength to fight. This give me passion. Let me passionate about humanitarian aid work. Humanitarian aid work is my passion in life. You know, so that my humble person in Greece, in a flat, four walls. I have internet. I eat well. I sleep well. And them there on the ground with situations that I cannot describe it even. This what give me hope. This what let me fight to let their voice be up, be heard, be respected. You know, be just how humans they are. Not only my team, thousands and hundreds of those Sudanese humanitarian aid workers right now there in these front lines of fire that distributing aid, giving emergency relief, medical assistant, all those doctors who in El Fashir, the doctors, and I'm saying this directly and I can say it on his behalf. Dr. Muddathir, he's a friend of mine. We grow up together. And he was the medical director of a Saudi hospital in El Fashir. Uh, Before the attack in El Fashir, by 1 day or 2 days, I was in a call with him. He was describing to me the situation, how they were using mobile flashlights to do surgeries, how they were recycling fabric, using mosquito nets as bandages for wounded, how how they can do a surgery for delivering a baby without good equipments, with zero equipments actually, how they are starving and working, how a doctor in a surgery can fall down asleep from hunger, and those people continue having hope that they can save people lives, that can treat people with the very limited or non-resources that they have it. This was give me hope. This what motivate me. So, and I feel so angry when I see people misrepresenting them, that people don't respect them, people don't talk enough about them, people saying this is a community conflict. This is really make me feel sick, you know, like people who using AI's generators to videos and pictures who are AI to describe what happened in El Fashir or in Darfur and in Sudan. This is disrespecting for all those who lost their lives, even as civilians and innocent people, or as humanitarian aid workers, or as doctors and medical staff that were like lifesavers for people. So for me, hope is Sudan, hope is Sudanese people. And as much as we are strong together, support each other, contain each other, we have hope. And we will not lose our hope. And nothing will distract us that one day we will be free. And actually, no one is free until everyone is free, even Gaza, or Congo or Nigeria or Eritrea or Somalia or South Sudan or Libya or Yemen or Syria, until all our brothers or Haiti, until all our brothers worldwide are free, then each human is free, you know, and each free, like, or every free human with a human soul, they must speak up, they must push, they must talk about them, they must raise their voices and reflect to those words and to the politics. As civilians, we are more than politics in the world. So instead of political people can control us and our actions, actually we are the one can control them and control their actions. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Munir, honestly, you have given me some of that hope right now. Now I'm full of hope like this. And thank you so much for joining the refugee conversation today. Thank you, Munir. It is an honor to be here with you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Phil. It's so lovely to be here with you, and I wish you also all the best. You are one of the young advocate people that we supposed to continue doing this and to be the voices of our people. So I would like also to say thank you for you, and same as me, as being a refugee, and continue supporting our people and continue raising the voices of people on the move. This what we supposed to do, and this is the real, also you can say, shifting of power that refugees should have it. And also I will end my speech, but also saying that people being talk about the inclusion and the meaningful of the refugees in the decision making process of, I see this is something we don't need it anymore. We need power shifting,
Yeah,
like
we
this what we
control.
actually need it now. Yeah, yeah. So instead of we being included in a decision making process and we sit in a table, yeah,
Yeah,
now is the time that we should not only have a seat in this table. Now it's time for us that we own this table. We write
exactly.
our dreams and we write our future, because also, and the good thing, or like the positive thing, and I'm happy about seeing is that refugees right now around the world, instead of being receiving services or aid, we are now shifting to become aid deliverers.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's time for us that we become our own voices. We speak up for ourselves, we support ourselves, and we support each other, and we don't wait for anyone to take a decision on our behalf. Someone who's never felt displacement, someone who's never lived in a tent, someone who's never saw kids burn alive, or someone who's never put their child in a boat to cross international waters or borders cannot feel our pain, cannot feel our traumatized, cannot take decision for us. So these people like you, people like me, thousands like us that who are speaking for this, we are the ones should have those power to take our decisions and to draw our future without waiting for someone who's sitting in an office and unfortunately grow up in a perfect conditions, even not perfect, in a peaceful conditions, coming telling us this is best for you. It's not best of us, it's best for you and for your governments, but it's not best for us. So it's time for us also to speak up for our voices. And I would like to say thank you. I wish you really all the best, and can't wait to see you like growing bigger and bigger and shining.
You too, my brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
And
so
that is
much.
a fine finishing line. The fact
Yeah,
that should not be included, but they should be the center of decision making for themselves. This is absolutely a one. I will write it down, my brother.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Thank you so much.
Let's share our WhatsApp and then we will talk more and plan more events and more project together. Let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you very much,
Wonderful.
Munir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you once
Yeah.
again.
Same.